let's get started. Roots of representative government. And the main idea of this section is colonists expect their government to preserve their basic rights as English subjects. And it matters today because U.S. citizens expect the same rights, such as the right to a trial by jury. Terms and names. So we have Magna Carta, Parliament, Edmund Andros, Glorious Revolution, and I really want to spend some time going over this idea of the Great Charter. Now, this Great Charter was important and came in the year of 1215. Now, in 1215, King John accepted the Magna Carta as the Great Charter because he was forced by the English noblemen and freemen. Now, the rights that it guaranteed to the noblemen and freemen was they could not have their property seized by the king or officials. They could not be taxed. And they could not be put to a trial based only on officials' word without witnesses. So definitely, the Magna Carta limited the powers of the king. And so I'm going to write that right over the title. Limited the powers. And that is the key. Limited the powers of who? King. And we would see this evolve, and now not just noblemen and freemen were granted these rights, but would be granted to all English people. Now let's move on to the next word. Parliament. Edmund Andros, Glorious Revolution. Furthermore, we have the words. Next, we have English Bill of Rights, an agreement to respect the rights of English citizens and of Parliament. Salutary neglect, a hands-off policy that represented little interference in colonial affairs. Then we have John Peter Zenger. He published and was a publisher of the New York Weekly. Stood trial for printing criticisms of the New York governor. And so I really want to explore that word, criticisms. So I'm just going to make a note of that word. Criticism. And we'll come back to that. Now let's look at the graphic organizer and using graphics. English rights goes on top. And then we follow it down. And we have the years 1215, 1689, 1735. And then it's important that we fill in these boxes. And then we answer this question. Which right is most important to you? So, first box. King John signed the Magna Carta in 1215. And in the second box, 1689, if we do some digging, we will find that the English Bill of Rights established Parliament rule over Crown in making laws. Now, this is powerful. 1735, we see the Zenger trial would help establish the freedom of press. And this is something key that we will also see in our own Bill of Rights in America. Main ideas, again, I am on page 145 of Creating America. 3A. The question reads, what were three of the traditional rights expected by English colonists? So these stars represent 4 different rights, but this question is asking for 3. They expected the following. Who? English colonists. Property could be not seized without reason. Secondly, they expected taxes could not be levied without representation. And so let's circle levied. Third, trial by jury was also expected. And lastly, the power to elect representatives. So I want to thank you, Learning with Mr. Legaspi. And you can follow me at Twitter. It's on the bottom, but at Enrique G. Legaspi. Again, thank you, and have a great evening, morning, day, afternoon, Supper.